Jennifer's going to lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the ability to come before you today and to discuss city business. We pray that the city council will have discernment as we look at the issues of the night, and that you would just be with us as we go through this meeting and as we consider the business of the city. And we pray all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Let's take a minute, look at your minutes. Everybody's had a chance to peruse the minutes from last month's meeting. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
Move we accept the minutes.
Go ahead. I'll second.
Move in second to accept the minutes as read. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Are you a guest? Or are you looking for a job?
I'm a guest. I think he's just an observer.
Well, you're an observer or a guest?
I'm an observer.
Do you wish to be heard?
No.
Okay.
I'm an observer.
All right. No other guests that you know?
I haven't heard anything. I thought maybe, but I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. How bad do you want to get out of here?
I'll go first.
I'll be
How about
short.
enjoying air conditioning?
Well,
And the cookies.
I'm done. I enjoy the cookies. Yes, I'm done for the day now. Well, I mean, I say that, but
Well, you stay as long as you like. I just thought I'd give you the opportunity.
Well, I wasn't here very much last month with everything going on, but I think I turned in a total of like 6 hours. But most of that was meeting time and a few people I had to talk with. But the one we're really concerned about works well under pressure. They were tearing stuff up today, moving stuff. So
Today.
He's got his quota met today. So,
Okay.
I mean, I can't ask for anything more except we'd given him less time to do more, I guess. I don't know, he probably would've got it done. So, they got a bunch more stuff cleaned up again, and they got kinda strung out there a little bit, but got a couple trucks out of there, another couple vehicles, so. He's back on track.
I guess the only thing is, refer to the old adage, let's don't confuse motion with progress.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you there either. So I actually spoke with him today again, and he had a couple extra things that I questioned.
Okay.
So, but it's a revolving door stuff. So we'll see if those things get worked on. So they appear to be trying to work on. Just wasn't here very much this month, so I really don't have a whole lot else. There's a few people to run down yet. Is anything in particular anybody knows of that needs addressed or anything? Are you pointing something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I
You
think
know,
I was gone.
Anybody know if the orange boat that's half in the street, half out east of the Presbyterian Church has a motor?
Not the same motor and boat that
It's a different boat.
Different boat. Yeah, it's like
It's a jet boat, and I don't know if it has a motor in it or not.
it's doesn't have an inboard
It's
in
an
it.
inboard. It's an inboard. It has a motor and power.
Yeah, I think-
Okay.
I've got him on speed dial. So.
There again, just keep the pressure up. I think it's a shell game there too.
Yeah, I will say that at the citizens meeting, pretty informative. I think it went pretty well. And Jennifer obviously knows to tell you. We can sure talk about that later. But Carol didn't mention at the meeting the city council's decision as far as, you know, the acceptance of applications based on no code enforcement issues. So there's some of the people that are in the list, and they're obviously, they're in order of, first come, first served. So the people that are in the list, that they're only taking the first 3 to begin with anyway, right? So I'm going to, just so you all, right? First 4 or 3? Four, okay. And the first 4 don't have any issues. I don't remember the 4th one now that I say that. That's all right.
Fine, you're right, you're
I
out
think
there.
they're okay. So, and I spoke with Carol afterwards about that actually, and the couple people that have some issues have already realized that they have some issues. And so, just so you know, or I guess with your blessing, I'm going to just say with those people to keep them moving so they're not bumped to the back, that if it gets to be your turn.
I was gonna say, are they insurmountable issues?
No.
Or are they just something that could?
No, they just need to have some more stuff that's outside taken care of, and, you know, eyesore things that, but if they, especially where they are in the list, I think they'll be, you know, depending on how much money goes out on the rehabs in front of them, there should be, I would hope, money left, and they'll get to them. With the understanding basically that if their applications are being processed, that at that time, if they're not in compliance with the code, with the enforcement, with the ordinances, then they'll get skipped over or pushed to the back.
And they're aware of all that.
I'm going to,
Or you're going to.
yeah, there's some that, yes or no. So,
Okay.
I would, again, we've talked, you guys have talked about this, and Carol, you know, and afterwards she even said, oh, I forgot I was gonna mention that at that meeting. It wasn't put out there at the public forum.
It's that they have to be in compliance, code enforcement?
They know that.
I was gonna say,
If they've come in here, they know that. I'll put it that way.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that, and we know that, we've all talked about it, you guys made that decision, right?
Right.
Okay. But at that meeting that night,
She
the
did.
town hall meeting, that was not mentioned.
But getting back to Carol not mentioning it, I guess my question is, are we unique in any way of?
No,
That's
that's
a
actually,
yeah.
that's a
Operating
state,
procedure.
that's a state.
yeah, when we
That's-
went to
that's-
that
comes
meeting
down
down
from the
there, they talked definitely
Okay.
about that. If you are not the one in Salina, you were there, right?
Yes,
Steve?
yeah.
Okay. It was you
So
and me.
you've
That
got
is a state, that is
Get
part
out
of
of
the
a
state
vehicle or a bunch
requirement.
of junk and trash and debris and whatever,
Yes.
you know,
Your taxes have to be
dilapidated
paid,
yard art,
all that kind of
whatever
stuff.
things that fall under the,
Yep.
so we're clear.
Okay.
Crystal.
I thought,
Anybody else got any
well, isn't
questions?
that, it was in the packet for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The ones,
I was
that's
gonna say,
individual
it may-
packet, the applications, okay.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
I could have
Good.
swore that she went,
Well, I was gonna say, usually
should be aware.
she's on top of everything,
Yeah.
so I was just.
Yeah, and
Give
she,
her a
and
bit
and
of
maybe
Yeah,
it's because I've heard it so many times.
right, and again, she did, you know, she, in the pre-application, you know, she threw one of them out to begin with, she didn't want that presented to the state, so.
No, I thought we had a good turnout that night.
Anybody else got anything for Dean or any questions?
Okay, again, try to be over here when I can be, and I don't know if it'll be, at a minimum, I'm not gonna come over here and just drive around and waste time, but if something comes up or you see something or whatever, questions, please direct them towards us.
Like I say, if you get over here and peruse the city and don't see anything
Yeah,
that's new or overwhelming or. I think we've kind of kept handling the biggest issue. I just can't imagine anybody else generating something of that magnitude in a short amount of
Oh, no,
time.
no, I wouldn't think so. Okay,
There we go, if you do have somebody start, looks like they want to be a copycat, kind of nip it in the bud. All right.
might be some talk about.
Okay.
All right,
All right, well, thank you, sir.
you want me to stick around for anything else?
More cookies?
No, that's
Take
it.
one for the
Okay.
Say,
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we're just moving forward with applications as far as the grant and updating on that, so.
Okay.
Okay. I might go
We
back.
should have, I hope by the end of the month, we'll be at the point of doing inspections, so we're still taking applications and
What about
demos.
animal control? Did you give that any thought?
Oh, yeah.
You can go out on your own and buy news and dart gun?
You get a,
We did have one in over the weekend.
Yeah, I know.
you get a tractor every gun that I can use to doctor some cows. I can use that on
Might want to
side.
back the dosage down a little bit. I don't know. I can't think of anything other than, that'd be the only thing that would come to mind is if we had any discussion about that, but I think for the time being, we've kind of got a handle on it, don't we? So,
Very good.
it's up to you if you need to go.
Sure.
Like I said, it's right here.
If I miss something, I can watch it later.
All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Is there any way to turn that fan on?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the cookies.
That's it.
Thanks, Dean. Well, since we got Dean out of the way, let's go back to the topic, new business. Standard traffic ordinance and uniform public code.
Those are the ones that every year
Yep.
they update, so,
So we do need a motion
yep, to adopt.
to re-adopt.
Yeah, I was ready earlier.
Just wait.
It's two different ones.
We just have a motion for each one.
Yeah, I'd rather.
I'll make a motion to adopt the standard traffic ordinance.
Second.
Motion and second to adopt the standard traffic ordinance. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public defense court and ordinance.
But
What'd you
the
say?
uniform public code or what?
Yeah.
I'll make all the motions.
You wanna make a
I
motion?
don't wanna make all the motions.
You don't wanna make all
I'll
the motions?
motion that we accept ordinance number 18-4, the Uniform Public Code
Second.
ordinance.
Second.
Moved and second to adopt ordinance number 18-4, public offense court ordinance. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Flyboys liquor license. Is there a paper?
No, because it, well, it doesn't have to be signed by you, it's the clerk and the treasurer, but I can get it for you.
So it's just,
Just need a motion.
yeah, I know, but I mean, it's just noted as liquor license. Or is it cereal malt beverage?
Actually, it's an occupation tax, if you didn't, it's making sense, but that's what it is. It's holder of a retail liquor license. The tax is paid to the state for the
Right.
holder of the retail liquor license.
Okay.
I move we renew Flyboys liquor license.
Second.
Moved and second to renew Flyboys liquor license. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I hate to break your heart, but you're probably gonna have to make a couple
Yeah, I like the first two.
You keeping track?
Yeah, I just didn't want everybody, just to leave anybody out.
Get
you
paid
know?
by commission.
Didn't want to leave anybody out.
Yeah.
Well, he keeps jumping in there,
That's
so
good.
that's good.
It's moving forward.
Choosy Ryan.
I don't know.
We're good.
Let Ryan do all the work.
Were you thinking somebody might show up to talk about the fair?
I
Or you gonna
wasn't
talk
sure.
about the fair?
I know the fair is on the, starts on the
25th and
25th of
29th?
July and ends on Well, I think it's actually the 28th. I think the 29th is what I have written there, but
Yeah.
Saturday night is.
Yeah.
As you probably have seen, there are flyers over there all over. Having the Brady Weston Band one evening. They're having Peterson Brothers perform on Thursday night. And I think that's correct. Or maybe, no, they're on Friday and the Brady Weston Band's on Saturday. I'm not really sure. I can't.
No,
Not of my head.
I thought
It's a derby.
Brady, they're after the
Saturday
rodeo.
night.
Okay, so that'd be Friday
Be
night
Friday
for the
night.
band, and then I think the Peterson Brothers must be on Thursday.
Okay.
Because the derby's on Saturday.
Right.
And then I know they, 4-H clubs are also doing a couple hours of carnival games in the evenings, so that would be like ring toss kind of games.
Okay.
So that's something that's new as well.
Are they gonna
See
do
how that
bingo?
goes. I believe the senior center is doing bingo.
Okay.
I'm
They're
trying to-
doing inflatables.
Yes,
Friday evening is the ever popular pedal pole.
yes.
Did they do the painting they were gonna do?
We're working on it, yeah. It's been our morning project every morning last week. And we're starting to make progress, aren't we, Terry?
Yes.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
It will look really good when it's finished.
I said it'll brighten it up a whole lot.
Yeah. So I've had some people, perusing while we've been painting, and everybody's had positive comments, so that's good.
Yeah, it's gonna look good. Between volunteers
And
and
then,
this
yeah.
and that. It makes it look clean and bigger inside,
Yeah.
having the white walls.
So
Got it all
make a point
primed
to
up.
come look at it.
Are we gonna do like a walkthrough? We normally do that.
Yeah, we usually do.
And it's usually tonight, isn't it?
No.
It's tonight, Jimmy. No, it's usually when they have their meeting.
Yeah.
They have
That's
meetings
right.
and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure, probably.
It's the third,
That's usually
the
when
fair
they do
board
it.
is the
Third
third
Wednesday.
Wednesday of the month.
That's usually when we do it, is when
Okay,
they have
so
their
that
meeting.
would be the 18th? I will.
Yeah, be the week before.
I will,
That'd work
talk
good.
with them and,
Yeah.
Got on my calendar
since-
then.
While we're talking kind of about the fair, did you find out anything on paint the fence?
I called a few places. So far, I haven't found anything, and it's more like because I got busy with other things,
Okay.
other
Yeah,
serious
it's been-
things. Yeah,
Basically,
the other consumed my life
there
for the
were the
last
big
2
media
weeks.
fires putting them out, so to speak.
Put a lot of time with Katie and Jane.
Yeah.
It's been special.
Well, why don't,
But yeah,
What
so
time they do the walkthrough?
It's usually at night.
Huh?
It's usually at night.
Like
7
7?
o'clock, yeah, something like that.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I will double check with them and let everyone know.
okay.
Usually I hear from them, so I'm not sure. But anyway. But no, I have not been able to find a company like that. I mean, I could, other than to put it out to local people as a bid, the other option.
Think there's anybody that want to take it on?
You talking about?
Take on what?
Painting the interior of the baseball fence.
Interior of that fence.
At minimum, the poles, but we kind of thought that the whole fence would be helpful interior, right?
I think we could still get it done before the fair. If we could. And I know you've been swamped. If you want, I
Yeah, but you,
take your list and look at it.
Well,
I
if you
can
could find,
follow
if you
up.
could give me more companies, that would be helpful. I mean, in terms of the, like what
That's
you're
why-
talking about.
That's why I'm saying if I look at your list, it might be something I'm familiar with that isn't on there.
Well, I'm having trouble with that, so yeah,
Okay.
whatever, yeah. If you want, like I said,
Well,
if you
just
have an
make-
idea of a name,
Make
yeah.
a note to, we'll work on that. Why don't we, let's forego the wastewater, because that might be a fairly lengthy
Yep.
discussion. Library,
I will, can give you a short, and I have lots of notes all over these, so. One discussion in regards to writing the Hansen grant, which is what I'm currently working on. They talked about putting an awning on the front of our building, which we discussed would need to be, if it's something that we want to add to. They definitely want to at least put signs on the front, outside of our building, which I think would be really nice. And then, but this is kind of the rendition of the front of the building. transom windows are not probably going to happen, but the awning was the thing that I felt like that needed to have council's approval before they move forward with that, if that's something, like I said, is part of the grant writing. So.
Don't need to see it.
Hmm?
I say it's neat to
Be able to,
visually
yeah,
see
yeah.
it.
It's nice.
They did a good job.
It's real nice.
Yeah,
Them girls.
yeah.
That's the interns.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's part of what they worked on, so,
So at this point, are they needing anything from us?
basically, like, if we want to include putting the awning on the building, that's more than just like the expansion,
Right.
and so that, I guess that was just approval if that's something that you think that we want to do or not. Because I'll either include it, because it's about a $25,000 option, I think is what we figured out.
Very close.
Yeah.
Just for the awning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, since you're writing the grant, you can add it in and put in, it, I know Kelly
Why
feels,
don't, can you put it in, and then if it's not approved, then we don't need
Yes,
it?
yes, there's
Alright.
many.
Why don't we do
Depending
that?
on how much money
Can we
we
do
end
that?
up with, but that's,
Yeah.
it's just something that, we've talked about just because it gives you a barrier, or,
Yeah, it looks
You have-
nice too, yeah.
like if it's raining, snowing,
Mhm.
you can kind of get in under before you walk in the door.
So
Right.
where did the $25,000 bid for estimate?
that was for the girls, I don't have listed in the paperwork I have where they got that bid from. I'm not saying that there's other places, I know they were just trying to get numbers.
Right.
And then here is kind of a rough floor plan. I was looking for the ones that actually showed the, I don't, for some
That
reason.
showed the what?
They
the
had
pictures?
a rendition where you could look at the interior, but
Here, let me have your stack. No,
here,
the
I'll just
stack.
pass it around. That's kind of what they're thinking about. So this is the door to my
I
office.
had mine, I could have brought them.
And like I said, ignore some of the is not a finished product.
So actually, it's.
Like this door. This door.
be like
yeah.
this.
Yes.
We're right here.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, technically that door is moved up, but we're actually right here, but that's,
They wanted to move the door, we decided,
Put it over here?
Yeah.
but we're not going to, we're gonna leave it here,
Okay.
well,
because,
what I said, if you move the door, you're gonna have to re-panel this entire wall, which could be done, but you'd have to include that in the cost of everything.
so we decided to leave it here, and the way it's gonna work, it'll work just as well, the way we've wanted it. Huh.
And that's, like I said, not complete and final, but,
You don't have it, I think you folded it inside that one.
those were folded up so I could look at the
I
budget.
should have brought mine down, I don't.
That's okay. I have lots of papers, but.
Yeah,
Anyway, we're moving forward, like I said, that's kind of where there's some things we needed, some
CKLS.
changes we needed to make and things like that, but.
CKLS came and gave their blessing, basically, from the original, we've added more bookshelves because, well, the interns being kind of green, they didn't realize that they had kind of left some of that out.
Well, it's
So
just,
CKLS gave them some suggestions.
I think it's just the library.
Suggestions, yeah.
Having worked with the library.
They know a little bit more by looking at a plan, so.
But anyway, I think we're moving forward, we should have it, by mid-month, we'll turn in the Hansen grant, and from there, it's waiting to hear, we would hear in August, if we receive the rest of the money, and, from that point,
So have you guys already gotten a grant from?
yeah.
We
from
have some,
Post-Rock
yes.
And
Right.
from CKLS. And then
From the library systems is
So
one
the-
of the grants.
A
and
little
then-
over 25,000 is what they currently have,
Okay.
and this would finish out the rest of it. And that's including things like, there's the,
How much is that
Approximately 125,000, I think.
for the Hansen alone?
well, no, that's for everything.
Okay.
That's it.
That would be the total cost of the project, and so we would be writing the grant for Hansen for,
About a hundred.
yep. And depending on how that goes, we'll modify our plans a little bit.
Everybody's all excited.
Well, don't get me wrong, I like the way that awning looks, but
It's not a necessity if you can't get it.
That's included in that price.
Right, that's part of the 120.
But if you don't get it, then you
Yeah.
can do away with it.
And that, I mean, we have a whole list of things that,
Or optional.
yes, I mean, this is what we basically need down to the.
Right, but I guess.
And then we have the, some that
Wish
would be,
list.
yeah, and then we have the real wish
Do I
list.
understand it correctly, the breakout price of the awning alone is $25,000?
I think so, that's what she said.
Right about, yeah.
But I mean, it's the bracing that they have to do and whatever
No,
else.
I lied. Nope, okay, 21.
So,
That's what it is.
so with you guys' feelings on that.
So with the Hansen grant and library grant and post-rock grant, will we be encumbered like we are when we did the park and have to have an engineer and?
No.
It's all taken care of with that.
A lot of this work has, like the floor plans and all of that, they listed all of it. I mean, because
So-
of the interns,
They
a lot
are
of that
in-
work is done.
Right, but what I'm asking though
Is it required? No.
Can, unlike the park, can some of this work be let out to bids to
Yes.
local people?
It will be let out, yes.
Yes.
That's what I'm.
We have
Yeah.
for volunteers or somebody donation, if you can build this to this spec, or this is what we want, can you build that? Sure.
Right, because it's not government money.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds great.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, I bet I know some people who build that awning for, well, I know we put the one on the museum.
Mhm.
and
Right.
Well, and there's a lot of things as we've gone through there. Some of the pricing that the girls used came from,
Bigger towns.
well,
Yes.
yes, and this is what they knew. Well, CKLS has come along and said, we can better that price. We know something, we can get a better price. The heating, the plumbing, all has been done through Street or Hayworth, I'm not sure which one. So
And
they got their
and they
price from
also-
them, and it's
They did the maximum that it could be.
right.
All of those prices, to me, are pretty maxed out and like.
And they have
top-
wiggle room.
Right.
So if we need to back it off, we can. So,
So anything else on the library?
I think that's it, basically.
What was the total amount of the grant then?
Well, I'm still tweaking some of the numbers because we took some things out, but I'm going to tell you about 125,000 is the total project right now that we have
but
listed.
the grant is 100,000,
So we
right
would be
around.
asking for 100 approximately.
Is
And
that,
like I said, there's some tweaking that, and it may end up being closer to like 90, but because some of that we needed to adjust.
does that money count towards like our receipts that could trigger an audit or?
No.
Well,
No?
yes,
Oh, it does?
we
Oh.
received the money and we put it back out. This year,
Oh,
we will
I'm
have to
sorry.
have an audit irregardless because of the CBDG grant.
Oh,
So I
okay.
feel like it's a good,
Oh, yeah.
Good year to do it.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
I
That was
didn't
my,
know that.
I mean, that was my thinking anyway. But yes, ultimately, it would count as part of our receipts. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
That would trigger an audit is what
Well,
you're saying.
We
It's
already-
gonna add to our receipts,
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
I guess I
Yeah,
don't quite
you were
understand
thinking about it
that.
accurately, yeah. Once we hit a certain amount of receipts for the city, and we're always pretty close, so once we hit 275,000, that kicks us into legislatively from the state requires us to have an audit.
I see, okay. I thought it was,
They're
since
not
it
cheap.
wasn't government money.
And they're
but-
about $10,000 or $11,000.
I was gonna say, we avoided the one.
Mhm.
God forbid we have to have two in the same.
Well, I mean, like I said, yeah,
I know.
yeah, I know what you're saying though, yeah.
I thought since it wasn't government money, that it was from a private foundation.
It doesn't matter where it comes from,
Okay.
it's receipts, yep.
Because it
I-
comes to us.
It's been
Yes.
corrected, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, right, yeah. But it would, yeah, if it was a different year, it would definitely make a difference, because that's a lot of money.
All right, new printer scanner.
So, one that I bought a year and a half ago, I have tried everything I can. It's going to cost me almost as much to buy a new one as to replace it. And then my backup one quit last week, so I guess I am searching for a new option because basically it's only the scanner part that has failed on it, but I have to have something to
Right.
copy with. To replace just the cartridge in this one was $400. So I'm at a point where I guess I feel like I just, sadly,
This one's the one you got a year and a half ago. Is that the big one there?
yes,
What did you get?
I got it from Office Depot. And I already checked the warranty, I already went through that whole process. The only thing I can do is order the new scanner part, try and put it in, and hope that it works. Or send it out, and at that point, you're at $300 and some, which is,
So what are you thinking cost-wise?
well, I don't, the problem that we have is that it has to be compatible with our JHAC software to print our bills.
Right.
And not everyone is. So I'm limited to 3 or 4 options. It's probably gonna be $700 to get, because I don't wanna get the same one, because it failed.
Right.
So
Well, I was
that's what
gonna
I'm
say,
looking at
what-
as of right now.
What about maybe going to more of a copy to an office supply company versus Office Depot?
Well, even JHAC software offers them. The ones I'm looking at, I probably will buy from Amazon because they come with a 3 to 4 year warranty,
Okay.
is what I was looking at. And for $50, I can get a warranty where I have a replacement, where this one, I didn't have that.
Okay.
So that is one thing, if whatever I purchase, I think it's worth for us to pay that anywhere between $35 and $50. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of frustrated because I've had 2 of them fail, and I can't really not be without a scanner. Copier.
Is it just that software doesn't work? Or must it just the
Yeah, but I
scanner
can still print my
cost?
bill, well, I could try it that way, because right now, that's the problem, is that's the one I also use for my billing, which
What did you say?
he said just as plain scanner. Well, I could look at just a plain scanner, which would be separate.
If everything else works on it.
Right. I keep working, I mean, I've been messing with it for, I don't know, a month or so. I keep thinking maybe I can figure out, because I feel like it's a software issue, not really the scanner parts being bad.
They're also cheaply made.
So, but,
It's been longer than that. You've been fighting with it for 3 or 4 months.
yeah, but it doesn't work
Well,
at all.
Well, but you got other things to do.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I'm
anyway.
just saying, if they're not gonna support it or help us out, anyway, just.
No, I wanna get it
don't
some,
wanna
I won't get it,
in the business
I was
again.
gonna say, I won't get it from the same place.
Okay.
Right. I agree with you. That's for
So,
sure.
you're still thinking
I'm-
$700-800?
Well, I'm researching it unless I can find a different, it hasn't been like I've been making it work because it's like it takes time to research which the best
Right.
option is, that also then I have to call JHAC and say, because when they try to sell me one, it will definitely be $100. The difference is they would probably be more supportive, so.
Maybe the better option then.
We're getting close to that amount, and we probably have enough for that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That one I bought was like $350, so. And that was, well, I think Rachel
When
was
we
still
get all
here.
that done, you're still gonna be without backup?
Well,
Did I hear you right earlier on, you said basically your backup's down too?
yeah, well, yeah, I got it to work today. I copied everything. Anyway,
I guess get the big one first, and then we'll worry about the backup.
right.
So I guess if that's the case, entertain a motion to,
So does the backup have to be compatible with JHAC also?
Well, no, I mean,
I guess define your backup.
to print the bills, I have to have a certain machine.
Right, I know that.
But I also need to be able to copy and scan and, email and those kinds of things and fax. What I bought was a machine that would do all of those things, thinking that would work, but, I mean, I could get, like he's saying, I could get a scanner machine, I could get a copy and, bill printing machine is another way to go about it. I went with the all-in-one machine, hoping that,
Yeah, those things are just, they're
frustrating.
kind of a
I just-
crapshoot. We've had several of those too, and they're just, sometimes they last and sometimes they don't.
Right.
even like at the church, I know that printer isn't all that old and stuff, but every time I go up there and make bulletins on Sunday morning,
Yeah,
it's just like, please God.
And I've had one copper printer scanner for 15 years. It's
That's what I'm saying, yeah, like you said, sometimes you get one.
I just,
No, it's a very frustrating thing because when you need them to work, they are very important.
I know, I'm just saying there almost comes a time though, I think, when you kind of
Bite the bullet.
step up to
And that's what I'm saying is
a
I
little
think-
more professional with support.
And that's kind of like I say, I've got $400 machines in the past. That's where I'm saying is I think I'd like to step up to that 800 with some support.
But you still want to do the Amazon, you don't want to go like somebody.
I could go anywhere, it doesn't matter. I was just researching options and looking at different machines. I'm not.
I'm just saying as critical as it is, I would almost rather spend just a little more money and have somebody be a great, hey, there's someone that you can call, they can come.
Fix it.
Yeah.
I can look into that, that's fine.
If not, at least look into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
Yeah, because there's like
Like an office
PSI.
it doesn't
I know
take
what
a
you're
whole lot of
saying.
monkeying around. You burn up a few $100s. It's just, when it
Yeah.
comes to that kind of stuff.
Right, no, it's something that I have to have working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need a motion for that?
Do you want,
Is it, do you have,
What?
is there a
Well,
minimum?
I don't have to, I mean, that's what I'm saying, that I need to figure out exactly what I'm gonna get, before I
I
can
would-
give you an exact price.
I'd entertain a motion to
She just needs to
authorize
do more
her,
research.
use her discretion up to $1,000, give or take.
Okay.
And if it, I mean, we can always chat, but at least we got it on record and you can act if you need to.
Okay.
So,
I also move to
Purchase.
enter, or whatever, what did you say? Purchase a printer, scanner, copier with support up to $1,000.
Second.
we're moving second, authorize Jennifer to get a copier scanner printer.
You agree? I have a good Friday.
Any other discussion?
Have you had anybody come and look at that to see if they can figure it out? I mean, it'd be nice that even if we got a new one, you can fix it, if we get one of them fixed, we have a backup.
Right, right.
Keep it
I
for a
don't know if
backup.
Marcy would be able to do that, or
I think
she
Marcy
fixes
quit,
computers.
didn't she?
I think so.
Yeah,
No, yeah, actually, who I have kind of used is Dr. Neal mostly, but
He's
If you
fantastic.
at least get one of them fixed up, then we wouldn't have.
right. Well, like I said, I'm still functioning.
Yeah.
Get it fixed up, turn on next, get it out of here.
Right, right. Yeah.
All right, got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, Will. Thank you.
Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. CDBG grant update.
Well, I think we kind of
Already
did that.
with Dean.
Yeah, I mean, just basically, we received a lot of rehab applications. I've received one demo right now. I expect several others to be received, but
What's a lot?
I think we're at 13.
Really? Good.
13 rehabs.
Yes.
Good.
And, but they will continue to accept until we know for sure that we don't have any money left.
Okay.
And only one demo.
As of right now,
Yeah.
there are 2 or 3 people that have applications that I'm sure will come in.
They probably realize
The other has to
we
come
gotta wait
first.
for the rehabs, so.
Right. And Carol told me, like I said, we hope to be doing inspections by the end of the month. Because we have the applications in and we'll start that process, so we should be moving forward now.
Okay. Anything else? All right, junior council member / scholarship. Wish Ryan was here to.
Right.
Yes, we need to.
Basically, I mean, what I haven't done, but probably give me, if you want to give me some parameters, and I will write that up. Here you go. It's okay. But anyway, parameters for what specifically you're wanting to see, and then I can write it up and I can send it to you guys, and you can kind of.
Well, the last time we talked about it, we talked about criteria, which got a little tough just because of demographics. Who lives where and who doesn't live where. As I recall, we talked about dollar amount on scholarship and the fact that you go,
I think $1,000 would be a good scholarship. You can't hardly get your books for $1,000 anymore, so. Anyway,
I know, but for 1 year, we don't pay council members that much,
that's a good point.
which is, I think, what we talked about earlier. And you're right. But I also remember, reiterating that whoever that person is, they need to realize, need to be here in order to get it. So,
It's a dedication and a commitment, and yes, I mean, as long as they understand that. And I think anybody that, whether you say applies, I'm sure that they will, because you're gonna have to have some want to or idea of what a governing body is. I mean, not everybody does, so, I mean, I think it's, in the last couple of years, there's more of an awareness than there ever has been as far as politics in younger kids, younger, high school age.
Well, so do you have an amount that you are thinking? I mean,
well,
she's
in
at
all
1,000.
honesty, even at $500, you're still giving them more than a city council member gives
Mhm.
in the course of a year. And I'm not saying that's not doable, I'm just saying, just keep that in mind.
Mhm.
If you went $500, 12 meetings, basically 2-hour meeting average, it's $20 an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to put perspective on it.
Well, don't we have to have this, so, because in August, we're gonna have to put it out there?
Well, that's kind of when
That's what I'm saying.
our
It would
timeline was to try and,
be, if you're gonna have somebody do it, you're gonna wanna have those, put it out there for applications through August so that you can start in September.
which I wonder, like say if Ryan was here, I wonder if he knows of anybody, if he's had a chance to visit with anybody or.
You mean kids?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, if you're gonna go first preference to city residents, are you gonna go second preference to township residents? Do you see what I'm
Well,
saying?
remember the litany we went through last time, we talked about school district and mailing address.
Well, that's where I'm saying,
And you're gonna have
I'm
to
trying to
define-
break it down, like, if you wanna go city, second to township, which would be Pleasant Township, which is what our city's in, and then you can go to your school district. Do you see what I'm saying? Are you gonna
Do I
accept
remember
anybody?
right with city, there weren't any
What?
that live in the city?
Seniors, is that what you said? It's
Right.
gotta be a
Is
senior.
that right?
Is one of the parameters.
I'm
you
thinking about the kids is what I'm doing right now.
Seemed to me the last time we
I don't
had
think
this
there is a- I
discussion
don't
that
think
there
there
was
is,
not a
no.
senior that was in
There's not.
Sylvan property.
I'm sure that's right. The city, now, there's some in the township.
Yeah. It's like, say, we talked about if you have a Sylvan address, well,
Right.
that gets carved up and cut up.
Right. That's what I'm saying, if you do school district,
Well, then,
Lincoln County School District.
you mean Sylvan.
Well,
USC
yes,
299.
yes, I'm sorry. In Lincoln
Sylvan School
County,
District in Lincoln County.
within Lincoln County, to the Lincoln County line, north, south, the school district.
Any thoughts, Will?
No, not really. I mean, I got preference, just list them.
That's what I was gonna say, to me, it's like,
the
first
city,
resident of the city,
yeah.
second township. I mean, because I feel like the township
Yeah,
is
that, That'd probably be the most concise way to do it, because you're just doing it on a grid. You're going city, township, county. And then if we had to go beyond that, then you could open up school district, I guess, if you didn't. County alone would have any viable candidates.
Right.
Just because they are doesn't mean they want it, or
Right.
they're interested.
Right.
Let's see,
So then what,
next time we meet's gonna be August.
that's what I'm saying, if I can have this typed up ready, you could approve it in August, I could have it out there the next day. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
And they would be able to have it in before the next meeting, so you could choose in the September meeting. So that would give them October through June of next year.
Well, after everything we went through last time, I'd say that's by the best way to try and define the parameters.
We do the second Monday of the month,
Yeah,
so it's the 13th of August.
yeah.
So now give me an amount.
He said 500.
I think that would be,
500, I think, is,
Okay, 500 is.
Sounds good.
if somebody made the commitment and lived up to it, I think that'd be nice. I do.
Anything else specific that I need to put in there? If there's something, let me know, because you guys will approve it in August, so.
Well, that
Even
they
if through the
will
month
be
there's something-
required, you know,
Is
to
this-
attend.
Right.
Is this restricted strictly to seniors? What if we don't have any seniors that are interested? Would you give it to a junior?
I would, yes. I mean, I think,
Or Jean? I don't know.
If you don't have any seniors,
I guess you
and you
go
have
the
to,
same way, I would give first preference to the seniors.
Yeah.
And then second.
Yeah.
go just down. If you have, you may have a freshman or sophomore that would be interested in something like that to see how things go. And I would, but
So juniors or seniors, first preference to seniors.
I guess my thought on that, Rhonda, would be just maturity level for a freshman.
Yeah.
that there are some that would be interested. The possibilities there.
If you have enough to work with.
Uh-huh. Like I said, if there's something else that
Okay.
you guys think
Well,
of,
tell
let
you
me
what.
know, and I can.
Between now and then, Ryan gets back, let him know.
Because he
what-
was gonna come down and he wanted to kind of be involved in that process.
Yeah, I know.
So, and I'm sure he will. When he's less busy.
Could I have a cookie, please?
Yes. Okay.
So we don't need a motion. We're just gonna discuss it and motion it.
The
Yeah, when
motion
I
would be
write it up,
next-
then you can
next
approve
month.
it. I think,
Sounds
don't you
good.
think?
In
Yes,
August.
I do think that's good.
Mhm.
Okay. Sit down, you're gonna be there a while. What do we got going on here?
Oh, let's see. We start off with a few positive things. Summer help's back, doing a good job, keeping up with the grass. One big project going on, a few hours been put in on that, the 4-H building, positively speaking, as far as where volunteers help move stuff to the center, clean down the walls, get it ready to be painted, and then the priming part, and then I know 2 coats of regular white needs to be put on it before it's like everything gets put back in the mix. Let's see, And then in with the mix, let's see, one positive note, let's see, where it's ever so often, the latest inspection of the lagoon and the lift station, KDHE, it went well. The only thing need to do to comply within 30 days, which was a second year write-up, and it will get done. The measuring poles need to be lettered or numbered and getting numbers made for it, because you can still kind of see the numbers through the white paint on them. So, you know, matter of cleaning those poles, and then when the stickers come, that was the only thing there. That was everything else on the lagoon, and the procedures of that went well with the inspection.
Okay.
So that was like that. Before we get to the sewer lines, was there anything else that I could think of outside of that?
You get the issue resolved with the weed whacker?
It's at the shop, and it's under warranty, because it just wasn't, it was just laying the grass or whipping the grass, or you had to slowly this or that. And so gave them a call, took it over there, and they said, oh, no, that's supposed to be able to walk through 6-foot tall grass.
Is this a new?
Whatever
Bearcat.
brand it was called.
Bearcat.
Bearcat. They said, we'll order a new belt. It was like two things wrong with it. It needed to have its RPMs set up to where it is supposed to be at, was the very first thing that they set the RPMs, and then they tightened the thing, went out and said, okay, we'll get a new belt. We're pretty confident, and it'll be under warranty. Pick it up next Wednesday, or this coming Wednesday type of thing. So
This Wednesday?
yeah, because it was last week when I took it in. Don't remember what day, but they said due to the holiday last week on a Wednesday,
Right.
it'd be this coming. It should be done for us.
I've got to go to Sylvan Thursday with pickup.
Okay. Minneapolis is where it's at.
Oh, it's at Minneapolis.
It's at Minneapolis,
Okay,
at that shop.
okay.
So that's the news on it. It was positive news because they tightened it up, took it out, and they took it in their little yard and just buried it in the dirt, and and then weed whipped paint off a steel fence post sign. So they said, that's what it's supposed to do. I said, it didn't even do that from day one, because I just figured, well, either do it not going too fast, or get not the right wrap, or get the razor blade looking weed twine.
Kind of like the old joke where the guy brings the chainsaw back and says, what's that noise? The guy starts it up, it's that noise.
Okay.
Anyway,
But
all right.
positively speaking, they said, yeah, and they said, we're confident. I said, it was very night and day right in front of me, while I had it over there and watched them work on it. He
What did
says,
they think, it burned the belt, or why is it open?
where the belt was sliding on it, it glazed it up. And he says, oh, I'd be confident if you took it away, but I said, well, it'd be under warranty if you ordered a new, and he says, yeah, we can order a new belt, put it on there, we'll have it tight, we'll make sure it's good when you come and get it. Because just those two things, it was a whole night and day.
Do you think they didn't have it set up right to start with, or got here and something happened, or what?
I don't think it was right from the get-go, because when I took it out and messed around with it, it just seemed like you just needed more engine. But I just thought, well, it's wide open, and
It's just not
don't
that
broke,
good of a
don't
deal.
fix it, Didn't know any better, so I just put it to the side and grabbed the weed eater.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll get her back. She'll be like she should be.
Yeah, because because he did say it's one belt does all the items. It's not two separate belts. That same belt runs off the pulley, which also goes around the, the one belt does
Right.
both drives, or the weed head besides the self-propelled part. So that's why it's like, yeah, that belt is important.
Does that only go forward, you gotta pull it back? Or does it have a reverse?
No reverse.
Okay.
It's just, and it's a variable speed, slow, medium, and fast. And then, let's see, I think you can also, you let go of the clutch where you can just manually do it.
Free,
And to pull it back, type
like
of thing.
neutral.
Yeah. And then the pickup, it went to the shop because the, whatever that bill might be, where it wouldn't start when I was down with the inspector at the lagoon. It was the switch, the column where they had to like take the column apart like it was in gear and you're
Right.
trying to start it, that switch in the column that they changed and then something else in it. So that was the latest mishap, but otherwise the white pickup is okay. And they worked on the passenger window to get it to roll back up.
Yeah, you said it quit on you right there.
At the same time, when I pulled it into the shop, and then it rained that night. They went out to roll it up thinking I didn't roll it up, and I said, no, it just stopped. And it had gasoline in it. So that was with the pickup while it was at the shop for a week or something like that. Was waiting for in the column shifter part.
The Fernando.
Is that all the good news you got?
Yeah, I think so. I'm still trying to get across the street. Seemed like I just started to make bunk shelves, and then that's when projects, making sure grass is being caught up, and this and that, and then the getting to that serious subject now. The city sewer lines, to get that back on a rotation basis where 1/3 of the town each year gets water jettisoned for preventive maintenance type of thing, to keep lines cleared of roots, debris, this and that. And I know they were originally got them scheduled like to come tomorrow, but that was after a few weeks back because I know they had to get parts. They blew a tire, took
That
out
was
their
last
pump
month,
and
yeah.
stuff, and that. So between whenever that was, a few weeks back on North Pennsylvania, where I had them show up that one day to jettison out that one line, they were beating on their equipment with wrenches to keep their pump going. So I knew it was going to be after the 4th of July, and that's when I had them scheduled to do the east 1/3 of the town to get back on a rotation basis. So that way we can show that, we are doing it.
So as such though, are we out of sync?
Yes.
Yes,
Behind?
yeah.
Yes.
This 1/3, it should have been done last fall. Winter came on. I guess the one company that called was like in Nebraska on a big project. Well, okay, we're here this year and it's getting done. And then like this fall, then it'd be one of the, like either the middle or more than likely the west part of town would be what would be needed to be done this fall. So that way 1/3 of, one third would, so it'd be every 2 or 3 years? Let's see, every 3 years, one section of the town would be water jettisoned.
Right.
To be on a correct rotation basis. Yeah.
So is it split like lengthwise?
Yes.
So it's like you have that third, the middle third, and then
Yeah.
the west third, is that how you do it?
Yeah.
So it's the whole length?
Yeah, and
That shows the sewer.
So Jackie's house is on the first third?
yeah, whatever zone, I believe that's zone 1 or
And then my house, that's in the second third, and Will's is in the third third.
well, there's 2 different maps, and I was going to try to do
Oh,
what you would be on. I was going to try to include it in
Zone 3.
zone 3.
okay.
It would be,
I think that's an inaccurate map, maybe. This is the one we decided on, I think, because there were 3 different maps.
yeah, there were 3 different maps.
And they,
Because like the one map, which would be Park, from the park down, so to speak, and then Main Street,
those are
or actually the laterals on either side of Main Street, and then down the south part of town would be one zone, and then the west zone would be
dealing with right now.
uh,
So this is
3
north.
legs.
This is like this. That's north.
This-
This is north.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, I just landed it up
I
pretty
know.
straight for you,
We're gonna do that, you got to,
all of them.
so where's Maine? Right here. Okay. So where up here is the problematic?
The current one,
The
about 36.
The current one, it, number 30.
Okay.
This 36 would be in the paved street going to the
Is that on the
sale
same
barn.
line as our other problem up here?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Yep. All of them were pretty severe blockages.
So will
Oh,
water
really?
jettison take care of the problem?
To
It
be
did.
honest, yeah.
Or, it did, because they had to, there was 2 problem streets, obviously from 36 to 30,
Is this Pennsylvania? Where are you?
and,
Yes, you are
Yeah.
on Pennsylvania.
yeah, you're looking at the alleys, or
Yeah,
these
that's-
lines with the
Those are
alley.
the alleys, so this is-
36 to 30, I had to do 3 times, and go with a smaller head, and there was
Right?
3 spots, I think,
One of these.
on that line that was hard to get through. And then the next block, there was a spot that was hard to get to right before they got to number 29 manhole.
Okay.
There was an area right where, that area where there was a new hook in, and it wasn't due to it. It was just that, right in that area. They had a problem getting through it. Then when they did, they went back with their big, regular size water jettison head.
But I think like some of the roots that they removed were very large, like
Yes,
the size of an animal.
yes. Because I chased and like whatever they chase back, what they can't vacuum out, what they, you see when they back it out. One they pulled out with their head, and and it wasn't the fingerling, it was pretty good sized roots. he recommended, get a company that has a camera and run up there and just see what's going on, in that
I
sewer
was telling
line.
her though, I always thought they had a camera.
He doesn't,
Wilson's or Deep Creek is.
Deep Creek does not, or that's what he told me on his truck, or running his truck, he said he does not have.
I'm
TV
like Steve,
camera.
I thought he did for some reason, but.
But then he said, if you have the material, do some preventive maintenance, go at the end and dump that, like that blue tree grit that's approved for the lagoon that we have.
Well, yeah, you remember when you and I were visiting, asking you about, is there a, like if we were to encourage all of our citizens to dump tree root stuff, would we kill your algae?
That was one question that,
Think that
You know what I
fast,
mean?
Yeah, I do.
that was one question that the inspector didn't get back with me on, because I did ask him that. And
But-
that's something that could be
Part of
looked
this, we
into.
could help ourselves if people would,
Yes.
just once a year dump that stuff in.
Yeah,
As long
'cause-
as it's a certain kind.
Yeah.
Okay,
this-
it can't be
that's what I-
just,
Yeah.
Just
What I'm
anything.
asking is,
But again, we don't wanna flood the system. because
Overdo.
If you overdo, then you're gonna kill the
yep,
system.
you'll kill the,
Overdo.
right,
That's
the
where I'm
balance,
on.
yeah, I know you have to keep the balance, but, so if, do we provide that here in the city, or, okay. I
Yeah,
wasn't-
that,
to go down the mains.
We also have given some to residents.
if they ask for it, it's,
Really?
it's
Yeah,
free.
that's,
That
that is
was what I was,
did that.
So why am I buying?
but it's that approved, it's
He did
blue
not.
granular, chunks and stuff, where I'm on that line, and that was the first thing I was gonna be doing here real quick.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Once in a
Terry,
while.
regardless of, I guess, approach it from this thought. Let's don't play catch up on this thing, let's get ahead of it.
So, but I feel like we need to be clear about the fact that we did have to have 2 incident reports to KDEG because there was a bypass of our system and, I don't know if everybody's aware of that. 2 basements had a bypass and had sewage in them.
That's what I'm
Which is a
saying.
reportable incident.
I don't wanna get to the point that everybody on that line is
Right, at that
having
point.
problems and then all of a sudden we
Absolutely.
got a room full of people. So what I'm saying is, whatever it takes to get ahead of it, let's do it. If it means you need to get somebody with a camera, or if you need to get something more aggressive than DJ's got, I don't know.
It's not DJ though, it is Deep Creek, so I don't know, I was
Okay.
told that maybe DJ has a camera, so we will contact them and see.
So how did we get to Deep Creek? Because DJ always did this.
The last 3 reports and that's who Lewis was using the last 3 times.
It's Deep Creek.
It's
Was
Deep
Deep
Creek,
Creek?
which is why that's who we call.
and I don't
Those
have.
were
a
according to his
reason
records.
why.
At one
Okay.
point, he was using DJ Environmental. I don't have an answer.
See, I wasn't aware that we could make a change.
Again, it's before me.
Okay.
But I can contact DJ and so I was told that they have
So-
a camera, but that's, I
so
haven't
for
followed up
the-
with that yet.
For the last however long, we haven't utilized DJ for anything? I mean, are we at odds with
Do they
them,
do the
or-
same thing?
Well,
I'm asking because I do not know.
well,
I'm not sure, I just.
we've also,
Deep
when
Creek that-
Kruger hasn't been available, they've also had to use Deep Creek when we've had an emergency before as well for water line breakages and for Lewis. I do know that because that happened when I was first hired and when Rachel was still here. I don't know, I don't know. I don't know why Lewis chose to call who he called, when he called them.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, like, for most of our stuff, like, Kruger would be the person he'd call if he's not available and we're in a situation where we have to have somebody. I think Deep Creek is the second, general has been his second option. I don't, But I
The
can't tell
DJ
you
this
why.
DJ Environmental will jettison this,
Yes.
do this, okay.
They did it for many years for us.
Well, that would explain part of the deal where we thought they had a camera, and then all of a sudden, we're being told to get somebody with a camera. Well, then I didn't realize we're talking about two different,
Right.
so, until you had mentioned it this morning.
Right,
I didn't.
so,
So,
We're just trying to-
which
yeah,
goes
right.
back to the question, did we have a situation, an issue where
it could have been as
past
simple,
superintendent and DJ got at odds about something?
it could be that, or it could be as simple as it needed to be done, they couldn't do it until we asked Deep Creek to do it. I mean, it could be as simple as that, because I don't have an answer, but I haven't heard anything.
Well, I guess my thought is we need to, have a cultural relationship with folks that rely on, and it's
Well,
like,
DJ's changed hands, right?
yeah, I thought I heard that.
Yes, that is true.
They're they're out of Wichita.
Local people working.
That I cannot answer.
So, okay, I live on this line.
Right, thank you.
What has been done? So it's all been rooted out? No?
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
line has been,
Yes.
yes.
It has all been jettisoned out.
Because my house still smells like sewer. Not every day, but some
You-
days.
You got a basement trap? You got a drain in your basement somewhere? First thing, pour a pitcher of water in it,
She did,
I
didn't you
did
do
that.
didn't know.
It did, it seemed like it did initially, but
Well, I was gonna say, but
my,
they've
and
also
all
since
my
then-
drains
They've
since
done it
then
again.
Did it?
gurgle. And they
Yeah.
used to not gurgle, so I'm just nervous. I don't
They
wanna.
did it again,
I don't wanna come.
what day was that?
To a mess.
Thursday, Friday of last
I was
week,
gonna
or was
say
it
that-
Monday,
But,
Tuesday?
but they worked on
They worked
part of
on
that
it.
line,
Again,
and then they
okay.
worked
Again.
on that line
Okay.
again, so it could be
Just last
that.
week.
So you need to just put
They
another
hammered it
pitcher of water.
good.
Okay.
So it could be
And
that.
in all honesty, you say a pitcher of water, depending on how big your thing is, a pitcher of water might not be enough water.
Okay.
You might need 4 or 5.
See, the
gallon
restaurant
bucket.
had trouble, cause I was in there, let's see, Tuesday.
Just wondering if I need to be pouring that stuff down
Well,
the line.
Wouldn't hurt.
It's like something belched somewhere.
Well, I don't want all of us to pour it down at once.
Well,
and get in
that's
trouble.
just it, that's why I
So,
was asking that question.
Yeah.
Well, that's where
They
I'm.
had
Yeah,
me
'cause
just
I had
pour down
several
rock
people
salt.
coming to me, what's going
They had
on,
me
this
just pour
and
down
that,
rock
and then
salt
like even my
line
toilet, the water emptied out a
Said it would be the
bit,
same
that's
thing.
all that's happening, because they,
to help
See,
prevent
they
it.
The
jettisoned
problem is
a couple
now
of
when
those
it
lines
comes down
2
here
and
to
3
our
times
system,
from
so I don't know.
manhole to
You
manhole.
got,
Okay.
there's,
So there would be
there's live
flux.
algae down in that sewer
going
pond
on.
that eats, digests waste. And
And you
if
kill
you
that
hit it
balance.
too hard with too much chemical, or you can kill it.
Yeah, and that's not something you want.
Back
And that's
Lewis
the good
used to-
bacteria that's working,
Lewis used
where
to
it looks
freak out
green
and
when
spray
you're looking
on
at
it
it, that's
because
actually a good thing, and you can't
Should
smell
that
the
herbicide
lagoon.
go
That's a
over
good
that,
thing.
it can kill it too, which is why I always make sure it's pretty nice breeze going that way.
I mean, the big thing is to be back on track with regular maintenance of the lines. But we also have to, I guess I'm just gonna say the thing that has to be said, our lines are very, very old. And
Yeah, they're over 100 years old.
Where are the new lines? The newest lines?
Kent Raymar's house.
I thought it was the east part of town.
there's a section of new line, main line. Is there?
Not that I know of, just patches maybe, like the sewer line's still pretty original as far as I know. You're talking like.
There's water
talking
lines.
Water lines are
There's new
new.
water
Water
lines.
mains,
The
Yeah, there's-
potable
That are plastic.
water lines
Yes, there are new water.
are new on
yes,
the east
yes.
side.
See, when we were down in this contract, my sister-in-law's city clerk for Hoyt, and they're doing sewers, just one
And
project.
we're gonna have to, to me, we need to look at it.
I was gonna say,
We need to set up a plan and get it started, the sooner the better.
I guess what I said, when we get through this grant, I really, to be honest, it's something that we really need to look into, because it is a constant problem. And on one hand, you can continue to do what you're doing, but
Well,
They'll start possibly collapsing, or the roots will grow fast.
that's just it, you know, they're getting old enough, and you get little perforations or thin spots, and those roots will find a way through anything. Just to find that moisture.
And when they did it that one day last week, I was chasing the alarm, emptying out the basket twice. What they couldn't back, it went on down the line and you know, filled the basket, hung up the floats.
But that's what it's designed to do.
Right. Right. Yeah. Instead of going in and
I'd
running
be
the
more
pumps.
fearful if you told me the guys didn't find it. You know,
Oh,
That would
okay.
be fearful, yes.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
glad
true.
you found something.
And they didn't go into a collapse, you know,
Right.
that's what I was fearing on that one section. They got through after they
Well-
were hitting it up for an hour.
Like I say, we just need to be a little proactive on this and not, you know, there again, you know, the first issue, you know, people were talking, well, they had problems for a month, and that month,
right. I mean, I guess I would say that if there are problems, you definitely need to say something, because
That's just
we
it.
can't address what we don't know about.
right,
Right. And in regards to that, we did have to put in a claim for our insurance. It's a $500 deductible for that, and that is in process right now. So, in regards to,
so you think this other residence gonna be an issue? Well,
there's a different situation there. We don't exactly know, but I don't know how it got into the basement, because in the residence that we have a claim against, there was a sewer clean out in the basement that came undone. Because this one has got 3 foot in it, we don't, at this point, until it's removed, know where it got in at.
How
So
the line
if
broke,
if
don't
their
know.
sewer line is broke, that would be the problem, not the
Right,
fact.
right.
I mean, it's a vacant house. So it
but
wasn't like it was
something
being
happened,
used.
that- something had to be happening in order for it to fill up.
Well, yes,
If
but
it's
they've been,
vacant.
right, exactly. So,
If it's vacant, you would think there'd be more activity.
right.
Nobody's been in the house for 8 years.
Yeah.
They just own it.
Well,
Anyway,
There-
so we're dealing with that
there
as
is
well.
a degree of,
So I have to ask, this is where I'm at. So, talking to KDHE specifically about this house, here's where it stands. There's 3.5 foot of sewage in the basement of a vacant house that nobody's basically lived in for over 8 years, or 6 to 8 years, something to that effect. KDHE's stance is it has to be removed. We have a time limit, I have to have a report on it. We are not responsible for removing it, but what we are responsible for as the city is to make sure it's done correctly. Because when our system is bypassed, we have to report it and report that it was cleaned up correctly. These people live in Arizona. Martha says we are not responsible other than to make sure it's done properly. It would be only when, so as a council, I'm asking, we're in a situation to where we would receive an infraction if this isn't taken care of properly.
so what if they refuse to do it?
We have to make sure we're still responsible that it's done. You see what I'm saying? I'm in a catch-22 here in my mind.
Well,
It's not just in your mind. It's a catch-22.
if they're not willing to do something, I guess my question is, are they gonna oppose us doing something?
The only problem is cost. Who's paying for it?
Well, I think it'd be,
I mean, they're not gonna, if we
If-
go in there and clean it up and pay for it,
if
they're not
we-
gonna say a word.
if we have to clean it, you know, it's picking at your taxes.
Well, and like I said, that's where we get into a discussion with our attorney about where we stand in regards to who's at fault.
Right. Well, you want to know what's at fault to clean it up.
Right.
So
And
have you
have-
talked to the owner?
I finally, at the end of the day here, was able to get a number, an accurate number to get a hold of him, and so we're in process there to see what.
This is supposed to be done within 5 working days.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why it's a fast catch-22.
it's nothing that can, like, when they get back to us, we can get back to them.
But our responsibility is to make sure it's done properly. I guess
Switch the furniture if it's off.
that it's safely removed by some type of a company that does that, and then the area treated. It's a limestone walls, cement floor, basement / crawl space, would you call it? I mean, it's not like
It's a basement, like a 10 by 10 or 10 by 12.
It's not a full basement.
Yeah, it's not a full basement.
It's not a finished basement, I guess.
Then, when it's emptied out, you can see what's going on, because you can always put a bunghole plug, or that's what they're called, or cap it, whatever, so that way it wouldn't happen again. Any backflow.
Well, as opposed to disconnecting them,
I guess, what do you mean disconnecting them from the
Uh,
sewer?
disconnect their sewer line.
Which would be plugging it, right?
Well, that's what I'm asking, as
Plugging it.
opposed to disconnecting, so you're talking about putting a plug in.
Something, not knowing whatever.
Well, how would you disconnect a sewer line? You'd have to dig down.
Backhoe,
Well, that's what I mean.
yeah, make sure this don't happen again. If they're not willing to work with us.
Right.
Well, I was like, disconnect? That's
Right.
underground.
Right, right.
That's extreme, but I don't know.
Part of it is that part of the city is a low spot, so gravity-wise.
Yeah, just
See,
not
I mean,
knowing
that's-
what's
Things run
broke.
downhill.
Don't know until we,
And nobody's been on the property, but do they got
Yeah, the
a,
re-
do they have a clean out?
But then that hasn't been answered.
don't know about a clean out.
The only reason it would happen to be found out is the neighbor just checks on the house periodically for them. And found it.
Well, I guess the question is, do we have the authority, if we can't get a hold of that, get a vacuum truck in and send it out?
I think that's what I guess I'm saying, is I think ultimately, I don't see how we get away from not doing that to make sure that it's
Yeah,
done.
we just,
Well, if it's a partial basement, like you guys are talking, an 80-barrel vacuum truck will just suck the whole thing out.
Right.
Or
Right,
wash it down as best as possible.
right. I just don't see, I feel like we're in a position, I don't know what else we're
We
gonna
have to have this
do.
completed or be in the middle of it.
She said that I could be in the middle of it by the end of the week.
Okay.
I mean, according to Marcia.
Today's Monday. I'd say if you have been able to contact those people by the end of the day tomorrow, we should plan on getting things moving, and get somebody here and suck it out. Suck it out.
Well, I will say that I did talk to Susan Mollison this morning, and they're going to be here tomorrow to continue to work on the rest of the lines in Zone 1.
Okay.
And I asked them to assess whether or not they could do it, just to give me an idea of where we were at with it. Like if they were able to get in and get it done.
Right.
So I will have that
Well-
information in the morning.
There's so many different possibilities. Like say, if you had a clean out, you open the clean out, and the sewer line is not plugged to the main, you realize that it's back at the house, and something's happening at the house to fill it up. It's not that we backed up.
Right.
So, but we can't can't afford to compromise the whole city's deal just because of this little program. So my thought would be, if you haven't got a hold of them by tomorrow, into business tomorrow, Wednesday morning, let's get started on getting somebody to do something.
Yeah.
We gotta stand it, and we'll worry about recouping our expenses one way or other. To me, how could it be much different than mowing somebody's yard?
Right, oh, yeah, it's,
I mean,
yeah, exactly. When you
Might take
assess where
forever,
the, yeah, I would agree.
So, everybody okay with that? If it was your house, would you like us to do that? I should look at you.
That you haven't been in 8 years.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have a house that I hadn't been in for 8 years.
Well, that's what I can't figure out. It's like,
Okay.
6, 8 years you
So
haven't.
is that the extent of our sewer issues for right now?
But I do, from my
Yeah.
standpoint, I think we need to look at those types of things, capital outlay, to get started on a couple of things.
It's been a long time coming,
Yeah.
it has.
And we just need to
I mean,
plan.
we know well that
We
we've
need
got
to-
water mains that are 100 years old.
Yeah, we need to work a plan.
We're probably lucky we don't have more problems with water too.
And the same thing with some of the ordinance codes. Something like this, you know, what needs to be put into the code, into our ordinances or whatever with stuff like that. I mean,
In regards to where
Do
your
you
sewer
think-
cleanouts
think
are,
it's-
and
Yes.
things like that.
Think
Yeah.
it's addressed anywhere or not?
For one, for one thing,
No,
a
but
lot.
we don't enforce any code in our city, that's what I'm saying. Now, if you go to some type of a property code where you're saying, like, as an example, it's not, if you were living in Salina, you cannot have a clean out in your basement. It has to be on the outside of your
Right,
house.
right.
I mean, small things like that would avoid some of that issue.
Well, what I'm saying, a lot of these houses though don't have, my house didn't have to clean out until I put my new sewer line in.
and ours didn't either till we moved into that
Right.
house.
And I know I don't have a clean out.
Right.
I mean,
Well, but that's the things that,
Toilet,
you
you
know,
have to
because
pull
there's
it.
so many people that do so many different things, because we don't have a uniform situation, I guess. You know, maybe
there's-
this would
right
take
now we don't
care of a
have
lot of
to
headaches.
deal with it.
I mean, possibly.
But
I
you're
don't know.
talking, again.
Well, like I say, even for diagnostics, if you've got a line with a problem, and the people have clean outs, you can go to each person's clean out and check,
Yeah,
and you can learn a lot real quick.
but that's if they have an outside cleaner.
Right.
Or if you don't,
Just from what I'm hearing, I'll bet this doesn't have an outside.
Probably not.
Have you been on the property?
Yes, I didn't look at the backyard, but yeah, we took
Did
a
you
look.
Is the property mowed?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that it
It's
is.
just not like we have to fight through 5 foot weeds.
No.
Sound like a plan.
Right.
If I get a minute, I might give it to you to look at.
Just out of curiosity, are they banned for sewer and water?
No.
everything's
because
turned off.
Everything's turned off.
Well, that tells me that if there's stuff in the basement, it did not come from the house. It says it was backed up through the sewer.
It's hard to say without knowing
True.
where
Maybe
the
there's-
sewer,
Maybe there's an ex-homeless person living
An ex, huh?
there. I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
They're not homeless
They're
anymore.
not homeless anymore.
so what, when you say the services basically abandoned. Because we have other people that have come and argued about us keeping the water.
If you have water service, then your sewer and trash are included in that, that's
Right.
all one service. If
Right.
you don't have any water service, or you don't have any sewer service, in theory, you're not using the sewer if you're not using the water, in theory.
In fact, years ago, we used to even have during the summer months, they would allow you so much break on your sewer for water that you might be using for watering your lawn. And we kind of did away with that.
Yes.
It's got too confusing.
Right.
But we did have that.
Right. Because if you're watering your lawn, it's not going through our sewer system.
Right.
But it,
God must stop, we
obviously
didn't have
something is,
much to do.
has malfunctioned in the house though in order for there to have that come back through either way. It's the only point I guess I'm trying to make.
Man, that takes a lot of pressure to move back something 3 foot deep. That's a lot of static hydraulic pressure. You know what
But
I'm
it's at a
saying?
low point too.
Low point, then I know they worked on that line real good, right in that area. 3 different runs to get all the way through. So, you know, how much, what happened, I don't know. I know the bathtub, it had residue, but then like when your bathtub drains, there had to have been something break inside, you know, a plumbing line somewhere. As to empty out the bathtub, or, you know, otherwise it probably would have just been contained in there and then drained back out.
Call goes. All right.
That's where we're at.
Let's go that route for the moment.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Terry?
No, I don't think so. Unless you got anything, other things for me to look into or whatnot. Otherwise, just
Well, I know you
try to
gotta
catch up.
I know you got a full plate, and I know Lori's been doing a great job of staying on top of stuff, and it's supposed to stay dry. But just FYI, when we get close to fair date, plan on hitting the fairgrounds real hard and have it looking as best we can.
And then where I've not done preparation for, you know, a fairground time, I'll need to like ask somebody that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know like, for example, the trailer that's got the sheets of tin on it, and that one needs to be removed, and then like stuff that's in the round building that's the Christmas stuff. I was hoping to be there this month, but it'll be next month, and then all of Christmas would be here.
The trailer with sheets of tin, that's what they took.
A
off
long
that one,
20-foot trailer, and then there's like sheets of tin on it, or corrugated tin, because that is really...
Trying to remember where that came, that's the old roof off the Busick building, when we redid the Busick building.
Do you have a plan for that?
Hmm?
Do you have a plan for that stuff?
No, but it was too good to throw away.
Some of it.
But
You want
it's-
it?
Tin off of what?
The Busick building, when we
Busick.
rebuilt it several years ago, if you remember, we completely stripped it apart.
The red building,
Around.
We took it
also
up,
known as
took
commercial.
it
Oh,
down. We took it down to the frame and put all new roof siding,
The cone,
insulation.
The red,
upside down cone.
I
no,
know the shorter sheets
the
will
one in
make a good
between
wall
the Legion
for
stand
the
and
shop
the 4-H
area.
building, the red building.
Oh, okay.
Building.
You know, like the shorter sheets will make a good, like, wall for the shop area. So
Right.
Ambers don't burn the
The
insulation.
thing about that corrugated tin is you can't leave it outside stacked the way it is. You know how Lewis has those racks down there at the
So it sheets.
yard? So they're standing up on edge.
Okay.
You store them that way,
Like a
but
deck
if you
of
turn them
cards.
flat and it starts raining on them, they'll start to rust in between them. That's why that trailer's always been kept inside. If a person could find a way to get them stored standing up, then they wouldn't have to be inside. But I want to say, years past, come fair time, I can't remember if he just drug that out and stuck it somewhere else, or... That's actually our trailer in our tin. That's not fair.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying, for example, I know that would get pulled out and moved somewhere else, and if there's anything else that has
But
to be
it's-
moved around,
it's
I
Did
don't
been-
you
know.
go through the walkthrough?
I don't know.
Do you think he should go through a
Terry?
walkthrough? Yes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd work.
It'd be-
I mean, that would make it
That'd be
simple.
reassuring. It's like, I'm sure, do the lights get unlocked, you know, like on the baseball field? There's probably performance or something where.
Well,
like-
they've got
Yeah,
to
we
do
get
that.
keys.
Okay. Okay.
On those 3 days, they pretty well,
You just,
you really don't have to worry.
You don't have to do
Okay.
nothing.
Nope, they're,
okay. That's all I needed to hear, is just
They have
reassurance
for
on
those
it.
we
I
have
didn't know
electrical
what
problem.
unless,
we do for
unless there's a
preparation.
major problem. Anyway,
Yeah.
but no, you don't have to worry about,
Those 4 days, basically.
Do they even clean the restrooms? Just asking.
do they clean the rest?
Clean or supply
Yes.
paper, toilet
They always
paper?
do.
Okay, that is just.
Well, I don't know, yeah, they always take care of them.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying they would be opposed if you wanted to go down there.
But, okay,
No.
no,
Just thought I
I
would.
just,
I would suggest that prior
Share.
to the fair, you have everything stocked, toilet paper, hand towels, and everything as it should be. And then we'll expect the same at the conclusion of the fair, when we do our walkthrough after the fair, we'll expect the same.
I'm the newbie. He says so.
we'll just go from there.
I'll let you know when we do the walkthrough. I just think
Fair
that'd be the
enough.
simplest way to go through, just show
Sure.
him all but everything. It'd be
Well, like I
easy.
said, password protection. It's just nice to have another city personnel putting his eyes on it,
Are you taking care of the alleyway thing? It's just a question. Well, we're doing.
Water jettison,
No,
that starts
no.
tomorrow.
the
yeah.
gravel,
You mean
right?
the asphalt?
The gravel or whatever you're doing to the alleyways, the
At the church
aprons or
area?
whatever. Yeah,
big
the
hole?
church. The church.
The trash truck.
Oh,
That's behind his.
the road depression.
Yes.
Well, we went up that alley and that depression probably needs to be paved because it was a wet spot and it didn't dry out and they went through it that week and it needs to be, it's dry as a bone now, so that depression can be taken care of.
No, the one by the
Now,
church.
I don't know about the erosion part, but the depression up that one street needs to be,
The one at the church we got as far as located.
Right.
Speaking of which, that relocate, just re-up it, huh?
yeah, you'd have to recall it. It's like 14 days probably went past. I don't remember when that
I
was
think
going.
it's 14. And have some good hot weather here, I'd really like to get it there.
Hot weather doesn't bother me. It just
No,
melts
I mean,
the candle.
It would make, it would work great with the asphalt.
Oh,
It would
okay.
make much
I'm
better.
following you. It would,
And don't
Goo
kid
together.
yourself, I'm catching her from the other end too. Had to hear about it again Sunday. I'll hear about it Wednesday night. It's a good thing I don't have a wife, I got too many women. Anyway,
good cookies, thank you.
Yeah, I'll tell Jonah.
so what else? Anything?
Unless I've forgotten something, it's entirely possible.
Anything, Will?
Yeah, changing, department heads. Street, water, park, police, and health.
You know, we
Something.
check on them every month.
Huh?
We check on them every month.
Mm-hmm. No, we don't. I'm just,
Well, we're two men shy, two people shy.
yeah, I know. One we haven't filled and the other one's, I'm not sure where he's at, but anyway. I didn't know what.
I gotta be
what
honest with you.
Well, I'm just looking at things like that and the department, I mean, changing that out and with this capital, if doing something, whatever we're gonna do with the city, whoever gets it lined out sewer wise,
Do you,
I mean,
as far as those appointments, you know, every once in a while you run into something that's from bygone era that just, do you guys feel we need to maintain that or as far as I'm concerned?
I think we should in some way. I mean, I would rather have a little bit more knowledge about some, whether it's the water, whichever one I would be on. I mean, you know, I don't know.
So we're gonna attack that.
Huh?
No.
Now, wait a minute, you're gonna say something.
I said sewer, you can attack that animal.
Well, that's what I mean. If it's the
Well,
water, the sewer,
I mean,
or
just
even
by-
the police,
by virtue of the names on there, you realize that this is archaic.
I realize that. That's what I saw that,
Well,
and
maybe
I
not
keep
quite.
forgetting.
I see Will and Jackie on health.
Right. But I mean, I see why Jackie's on health. That's a good fit, you know? She can tell us a lot.
Oh, Wednesday while we're on health, I don't know if you saw the signs. Did we look at them last time?
Yeah.
Hope to get those up by the fair.
They were here.
Sorry.
Remind me public speak.
Okay. Right now.
Well,
Next month.
no, before we quit.
That looks nice.
They do look nice.
And where are those going? Fair?
They'll be at each ball field and at the park, and I think is there 8?
8.
So we kind of were just, Terry and I were discussing placement.
Cool.
While you're
It's
talking
good.
about ball field, all ball is completed now?
Yes.
As far as here,
Yes.
softball, no more softball.
That is my understanding, yes.
I remember back whenever somebody jumped me in the middle of the street and said, what makes you an authority on housing? 'Cause I was-
Well, I mean, after I went to this municipalities thing, I see the importance of it.
Right.
I mean, that was and I kept forgetting to bring it up, and then when we come up with all this other stuff, I'm like, you know, maybe that's something we really do need to address. And if we do move forward with some type of a capital outlay, I mean, I guess it's something that, and whether it be the police, like the thing with the police thing, if, I know what Weigel said, but I do I mean, if we're paying money, but yet there's no contract, do we need to renegotiate something? I mean, that's what I don't, I mean, I'll just be flat out frank, I'm a little confused. So, I mean, it's just things like that, and if that's what we need to be aware of, or we need to be, my point, you know, if that needs to be addressed in one way or another. And that's just one of them. I mean, or some of the ordinances, do we need to be going through some of the ordinances and updating, you know, take so many of them at a time and go through them and, you know, do we need to have the code, a uniform international code for building? I mean, as things progress, so either we progress with them or we don't. I mean, good thing, bad thing. So, I mean, those are just some of the stuff that
I'm just being frank too. As long as I've been on here, nobody's ever really, past mayor never asked for a report, or I'm just saying it was there. Now, if you guys want to do something with it, I'm not opposed to that. I'm just asking, you know, is it something that just make that go away?
Well,
Because
yeah,
we're already taking care of the issues as a whole.
Right. Well, that's why I said I didn't know what.
Uh,
I'm the newbie, I said.
Well, I've never laid awake at nights worrying about this little list here.
Well, I mean, I think, look at as, I'll say vision, you know, what is the vision for, it's slow, it's not gonna be gangbusters,
Right.
no. But I'm just saying, we need to look a little bit farther into things and seeing if we can't be a little bit ahead of the game, like the sewer thing.
Well,
I mean, that's
Like
what
I
I'm
say,
talking
that's
about.
been a long time coming, because for years it's been, you realize our things are 100, I said, yes, I know. You know, when's somebody gonna step up and, you know, it's like, let's don't wait.
How many times you cross
Let's
your
don't wait
fingers?
till the dam busts before we.
Well,
say,
exactly, and that's
Yeah.
that's kind of what my, like I said,
Uh,
trying to look.
By the same token, if somebody embraces that list and says, hey, I'd like to be in charge of that or be the lead on that,
Okay.
I'm not opposed to that either.
I'm just curious.
I'm just saying, that thing has sat there.
I think, because we're short council anyway, yeah, just.
And we really
that
need to
right
address
now.
that.
Yeah.
I've asked several people that I thought would be good, and it just, surprisingly, none of them have said, not enough money. It hasn't ever been the issue. So, but
I
seriously.
mean, there
we
may
do
come a
need-
time we could redo the committees, but until we
Shanghai
get more
somebody,
people.
or there's gotta be one person in this town that is
Well, when is re-uppment for people? Is it coming
I
up
don't know, 'cause
anytime
this is
soon?
2013 for a 4-year term. Expires in 17, this is 18. I'm sorry.
Jackie, Ryan, and Will be up in 2019 next year.
And what?
Next year.
Yeah.
Are they open, is up for anything
Well,
this
the
year?
open is actually
Well, right now we're
mine, ain't it?
yes, the council position
Right.
2 is the one that we have, that is vacant currently, but
He re-
Maybe I haven't been heavy handed. Shut somebody's water off.
Or plug your
Have
sewer
Terry
up.
put a plug in their sewer. I'm just, like I say, it's not like, you know, for lack of talking to folks, and, you know, you try and look at somebody and say, you know, they're fairly well-rounded, commonsensical. You know, it's not where, like, we're asking to give a pint of blood or something, just,
Okay.
you know, interestingly enough, we had, you know, we can talk about elected positions and, people who are willing to do something. The gentleman that's running against Susan Kincannon came and visited us at Farmville, visited with our county election committee, and he's running for state representative, and he was frank enough to tell us, I may just be one and done. It's like, you know, a position like that, you, first 2 years, you basically learn.
And he may learn he don't want to do it.
The guy just said, my age, I may be one and done, and it's like, look, guy, we need somebody that we can count on, you know? So, like I say, there's certainly merit. What you guys say? Like I say, whatever your pleasure is on that. If you want to adhere to that list, or obviously you can change it up. You know, if you have a particular interest. Like I say, it's, you know, as you look at each of those areas, we've talked about almost every one of them tonight, except maybe police. We did that in spades last week. Speaking of police, I have
Last month.
I've got a 97 white Mercury Grand Marquis that runs, and I've also got an emergency light bar off of the fire truck. We could make a police car out of it.
who you deputize them.
I was gonna say, Red, you wanna be a policeman?
No, but my brother Richard might.
I told Josh that the other day, and he goes, that's a demo car. I said, well, then you need to buy it from me and make a demo car out of it.
I can remember, who was it, Snyder? When he was marshal. Remember?
No.
That was before your time.
You're going back before my time.
And he was sound asleep out here in an old Pontiac. I'll never forget, we threw an M80 underneath the car and let it go off,
You know,
Drove him batty.
when I was a kid in Hoisington, I know, what movie was it where they put a
Porky's.
log chain on the rear end?
Grease.
They
Did
did
they
that
get
to a
Grease or
cop.
Porky? Porky's they did it.
They did
to.
that to a cop in Pleasanton and he broke his neck, killed him. They gave him too much chain.
We tied the front bumper to a police car in Lucas to a light pole. We had it set real short, you know. He jumped in that thing, jammed it, reverse, took off, and just ripped that bumper right off of that car. Oh, boy.
All right. Anything else, Rhonda?
No, I don't. I
Jackie?
said my piece.
I'm just taking notes.
Nothing else?
I think so.
Last chance. If not, let's look at the financials.
Any questions on the warrant list? On the, I don't know if you'll notice, I did transfer $10,000 from the water into our general account to pay that water loan, which I obviously had made a mistake when I looked that up. When he actually sent me the payoff, it was 17. So,
What?
and I thought it was gonna be like around 12, so, it was significantly more. So I just wanted to mention that. So you'll see that in the expense, on your, that'd be on your, not on your warrant list, because it was actually on the warrant list from last month, but on your, if you look on your, the financial report. Yeah.
How come you have a entry here with?
Because I haven't got the bill yet.
Okay.
The gas service doesn't come until mid-month, usually till after our meeting. So,
Is this our pay by credit card deal?
so, yeah, like on there, it would be, oh, well, if he goes to Lowe's, goes to Sylvan and gets supplies, usually that's where that's at. Or if we ordered something online.
Oh, no, I was asking what's the deal where people come in and pay you?
Oh.
Credit card.
Credit card, yeah, that, and they haven't set that up. They are in the process of building that. I approved the, you kind of have to go through a process of asking what you're asking, when they go online to GovPay, what you need in order to identify what the premise is, and so I cannot.
GovPay.
GovPay.net, or GovPayNet, what am I saying? But that should be up, they were hoping to do a press release sometime this month, and that will, and I'll have some propaganda that I'll send out to customers. So they're kind of building up that I was doing a trial on the site, et cetera.
Is this all just in and out?
Yes. More out than in. Right now, we're 20 cents difference.
26 cents?
20 cents.
20 cents.
We charge
per-
our customers $15.60 for trash, and we pay $15.80 per customer. When we did the water rates, they increased the garbage, or the trash rates, and we decided not to at that time. Or
So
the
we're
council
gonna-
decided, I was just taking notes.
Well, that's not the one time, there was one time before we ate it.
Right. So, I
said
mean,
we're
it's
probably
not
not
a
gonna
lot
eat
amount,
it
but there
much
is,
longer.
there is a difference. They didn't increase this year, so, but yes, more or less it's in and out.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions on the financial? If not, I guess a motion to accept the financial as posted.
I move we accept the financials as posted.
A second.
Motion and second to accept the financial report. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do I make a motion to adjourn?
Sure.
You gonna make me do that dirty dude?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion adjourned. Unanimous.
Turn that stuff off. Sometimes when I'm writing.
Did we win any trophies? Our teams win any trophies?
What?
Second
Second.
in the midgets, and coach pitch.
Coach, I don't know. We don't have any kids playing coach pitch, they're good, I go. All I know is I spent the whole of Saturday
Well, I shouldn't say that because John didn't know that, so I don't know.
watching baseball, and it was horrible.